todo mundo vê, é nítido a falta que ele faz, todo mundo que está aqui também é consciente de que ele é a nossa estrela, nosso melhor jogador. E a gente sabe que para vencer uma Copa do Mundo tem que estar todo mundo bem para poder ajudar ele. Então ele estando bem, que é o que a gente torce, para que ele tenha uma ótima recuperação, está na fase final já, falta pouco.
Just a reminder there on what Rodrygo had to say about Neymar being Brazil's best player. Craig?
What?
Not currently one in here.
He's having a bad week, Rodrygo, isn't he?
Yeah, Rodrygo's had quite a few things.
He's had a bad week.
What's Neymar?
Keep your mouth closed.
Bring me up to speed with Neymar.
So Rodrygo said, so Neymar's coming back from an injury, obviously. Neymar's had a bad injury, but Rodrygo still says he's the best player for Brazil and he's essential for the 2026 World Cup.
At 34, give or take.
32.
He's 32 now. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, 34.
Oh,
at the World Cup.
Forward thinking, Seb.
Yeah.
Think forward on this show.
Herc.
I was able to add... What I say? Seb. Herc. Seb. It's all going
Greg,
on.
you're on fire, Greg. What's going on, man?
Well, listen.
He's going against everybody. Oh, Greg. Oh, I love it, man.
What?
Anyway.
No, I'm not doing this show.
All right, you can come in then. You
Seb.
can come in here because I heard you making a case.
No, I do make a case because I agree with Rodrygo. I mean, and this says more about this Brazilian team today than Neymar. This says a lot more about where Brazil is today as a program, the team they have, the talent level they have, than Neymar himself. The last time Brazil was of worth, Neymar was the man. He's the all-time leading goal scorer in a country that's produced players like Pelé, Kaká, Ronaldinho, Romario, Ronaldo. You look at that pool of players, and if it's not Neymar, the highest goal scorer is going to be Paqueta and Marquinhos. And then after that, you're grasping at straws with Vini Jr., who doesn't show up for the Brazilian national team, Rodrygo, who's an afterthought, Rafinha, who has never been impactful, and you're maybe hoping that Enric can be the player that everybody thinks he can at the national team level. But it really is grasping at straws. So I understand Rodrygo's sentiment for understanding that a player like Neymar, with that creative ability that he has, the creative ability he has on those feet, if you get him anywhere near his level, can unlock a Vini Jr., can unlock a Rodrygo, can unlock a Rafinha. Because certainly Paqueta in the midfield cannot. And he's proven it time and time again.
When was the last time we saw that?
When
was the last time we saw Neymar? I mean, is Neymar the new Ronaldo? I mean, is he the Brazilian Ronaldo? Because by the time the World Cup comes around, he's 34, and we've just agreed.
That's what confused me the first time.
And we've just agreed. we've just agreed that he hasn't been at his best. Certainly for Brazil or anybody else over the last 12 months, 18 months. So a Brazil team that if Neymar doesn't play, isn't it any good? Really? Is that what Rodrygo is really thinking and saying? Is that what everybody in Brazil thinks? Because if they do, then they're scuppered. Because when Neymar gets fit, it's going to be a surprise if he starts doing all the things you're talking about, assists and goals and being the man, the whole thing. Because he hasn't been that for 18 months. So what's it going to be like, after he comes back from injury? And even if he does and they get to the World Cup, what's it going to be like in 2 years' time?
And obviously playing in Saudi Arabia is going to factor into all of this as well.
Well, I think he could be the star, as in he's been the star. But I think Vinicius Jr. has to be the best player. And I know he has to pick up the baton. He has to, for his country.
The Madrid version of Vini Jr.
The very good Madrid version is a bigger threat now than Neymar. But he may not be, and he hasn't been. But that has to be Vinicius Jr.'s ambition, to be the guy that is taking on the mantle. He has all the attributes to do it, right? All the attributes, and that has to be. He's got to end it for Neymar, in a sense, by his performances, where people just go like that. Tell you what, this is the guy now. Take us forward, and then people stop talking about it. But he hasn't done it yet, and I would imagine the pressure playing for that country is just absolutely immense. So it's not easy. But he's the guy that should be taking it.
Mario.
That's exactly what I wanted to say. That nation is huge. If you want to be a star in that country, it's sometimes like even me coming from a small country compared to them, and I've been to that country a couple of times already. And so I think when it comes to Rodrygo, what he said is also in the sense of like, you need a player also sometimes in your team that can handle that pressure. That's why I think he highlighted Neymar, because he feels like this is a kid that can literally handle whatever comes towards him. That does, regardless if we're talking about the age group and can he still, and does he want to, because you also have to ask that question, eh? Does he want to deliver? Does he want to go all to the maximum and saying like, okay, I'm going to make myself fitter than people expect me to be so I can perform the best. But yeah, so that is going to be a really crucial thing, because if Neymar wants to do it, it's going to be a big test for him, because for years we said it, the quality, and when Neymar's at his best, it's a joy to watch. And when he's not at his best, it's sometimes you watch him and you go like, why, man, you have so much quality, why? So that's why I would love to see him at his best.
Well, let's hear what Dorival Jr. has had to say about this situation and about Brazil in the upcoming World Cup in 2026. He says, we will be in the 2026 World Cup final. We will be finalists. You can film me while I'm saying this. I have no doubts. We will be there, Herc.
Seb. So you've been in California too long.
I have.
Favourites to win the 2026 World Cup.
That's ridiculous.
No, well, there's a lot of people in Brazil betting in favor of Brazil. That's how the line is moved there. I can tell you that much, not because of the talent level. Listen, the last time they were in a World Cup final, they had the likes of Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, Roberto Carlos, Emerson. They had some ridiculous footballers in that pool. This is not the same pool of players. This is not the Brazil of old. For Dorival Jr., who is a journeyman coach, he's got more teams than I have years on this earth. To come out and say that, I think is very optimistic and arrogant in a way that I've not seen a Brazilian be in quite some time. I think the most passionate Brazilian fan will tell you this is a pool of players that lacks talent, and I don't know where he thinks this team is going to make a run in an expanded field.
Talking about managers saying that like it is. I mean, he's confident. Is it a bit too much to be saying this, Stevie?
I don't know. I think somebody hit a nerve and he said it, and he probably regrets saying it because he should. I mean, they'll be at the World Cup, but to turn around and say they're going to be in the final, that's through somebody hitting a nerve and you just defending yourself and responding. But in the cold light of day, he would never. Nobody would have said that. Nobody, even though it is Brazil.